Right, shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Waharaka Kodash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. Now, what I want to go into is one of the reasons that we know that America is Mystery Babylon, Babylon the Great. So I'm going to read down, the point's going to be in 16 and 17, but I'm going to read down and get to it. So it says, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. And that's talking about the destruction of America. You know, it's going to be turned into pretty much a wasteland, a wilderness. All right. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. So this place, Babylon the Great, would have great influence and connections throughout the world, and merchants from around the world would become rich in supplying this place with goods and services. All right, and that's America. America is a massive economy, a massive market, right, where every luxury good you can think of is sold, up to and including slaves. All right, that's where it's at. All the illicit markets lead to America, whether it be drugs. If you want to sell drugs, America is the number one market to sell your drugs. You want to sell pussy, America is the number one market. You want to sell children, America is your number one market. That's where it's at. That's just how it is. It's the truth. All right. Right, so the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Okay, America has had one of the greatest middle classes there's been in recent history. All right, the spending power of the American population is crazy. It's no other country can compare when it comes to the ability of its people to consume. All right. Says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers in her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. And that's going to be the elect, and only the elect of the people of the Most High are going to be delivered from the destruction of Babylon. Ain't nobody else making it. So if you're a heathen and you're on the shores of America where the destruction comes, then you're finished, man. You're about to be evaporated. There ain't no way out for you. But many of our own people are going to suffer with Babylon because they're joined unto Babylon. It says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. All right. America has committed many great sins in the eyes of the Lord. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. And what's her works? Destruction of nations. Who was the first nation to use atomic weapons in the world? Who was the first nation? Someone told me that. Yes, that's right. It was America. And the beautiful thing is that they're responsible for the proliferation of these weapons. And they're going to be the last nation that these weapons are used upon. They opened Pandora's box, and Pandora's box is going to close on them, which is beautiful. It's poetic. How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. All right, the America don't believe that they're gonna go down. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. So America's gonna catch mad hell, right? There's gonna be all kind of death and famine and disease and all kind of crazy shit. And then to cap it off, right, the Lord's gonna blaze fire on that place. For strong is the Lord who judgeth her, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, right? Because there's certain heathens who own certain manufacturers or something and so forth from around the world that have become extremely wealthy by working with these American corporations to supply the American consumption, right? Millionaires, billionaires from all around the world. All the millionaires in China have made their money off America. All right. When you go to these various countries, or these third world countries, most of the people in these countries that actually have money, the reason they have money is because they run an operation or a company that's supplying America, that's putting their people into slavery for cheap labor in order to provide the goods and services for America, and they get rewarded with their cut, which makes them millionaires. That's the way the world works. That the majority of people in these countries suffer, but the people who run the system, all right, that benefits the American companies and consumers, they get compensated with riches. You could talk about India, it don't matter which one of these countries, the vast majority of the people are what? Impoverished. But then you get the few that benefit. These are these people. All right? That fornicate with America. These are facts. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall wail her and lament for her when they see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her tournament, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. And that just shows you, what's that showing you is that it's helping you to identify who Babylon the Great is. It's a great consumer market. Well, that's America. All right? For the longest while, America has been the chief consumer in the earth. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, right? See, these just look at these. The whole idea of buying your wife a diamond ring was pioneered in America. I guarantee you, they sell most of their diamonds in America, man. Look at these Negroes, man. They buy the diamonds, put 1 million diamonds in their chain, right? Precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all fine wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of most precious wood and of brass and of iron and marble, right? When you got luxury goods like, nobody don't care about selling their luxury goods in some country where most of the people are fucking poor. If you got a luxury good or a good, you want to sell it in America because there's more people in America who can afford to buy what you're selling. And even if they can't afford it, somehow they're gonna be able to buy it anyway because they can go into debt to buy it. Where in a lot of other countries, you wouldn't be able to go into debt to buy anything. Cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses, right? And chariots, right? All the different cars, man. The Bugattis and the Lamb. I guarantee you, all these luxury, all the vehicles, period, they sell most of their stuff in America, man. And slaves and the souls of men. The fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen, and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood far off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Yeah, because if you own a shipping company, that's where most of your ships are going. And what you find out is 80%, like the vast majority of trade in the world is still done by sea. It's not done by plane. It'd be too expensive. The cheapest way to move goods, especially heavy goods in the world, is still by water because it's less energy intensive. They can put the stuff in a container, pile the containers up, and let the sea carry it. Right? Maritime transport, or more generally, waterborne transport, is the transport of people or goods via waterways. Freight transport by sea has been widely used throughout recorded history, which the recorded history is the only history. There ain't no such thing as prehistory. The advent of aviation has diminished the importance of sea travel for passengers, right? So you can carry people in the air fairly easily, though it is still popular for short trips and pleasure cruises. Transport by water is cheaper than transport by air or ground, but significantly slower for longer distances. Maritime transport accounts for roughly 80% of international trade, according to the UNCTAD in 2020, which the report actually came out in 2021 because I checked it. All right. Now, a lot of these ships are heading to America, man, to offload these goods. And United States of America has got a whole bunch of ports, man, and port cities, and you know, all these deep water ports for all these goods to come in, man. All right. America is that place. There's no other country, right, that dominates in terms of its consumption as America, man. China is a producer. China brings in raw materials and produces goods. America consumes goods. In fact, right? It says world's top exporters and importers. The world's top 10 largest top 10 largest importers. The United States is the world's largest importer of goods, followed by China and Germany. Overall, out of the world's 10 largest importers, 4 countries are in Europe, 4 in Asia, and 1 from North America, and 1 from Central America. But America's been at the top for the longest. That's where the ships are going, man. So the merchants can become rich. That proves that America is Babylon the Great. It ain't talking about the Vatican, because the ships ain't going to the Vatican to sell goods and services like that. It's America, man. All right. So if that, I'm gonna say shalom.